What if the very moments that broke you were the same moments that built you? What if the voices that raised you through pain, courage, and love became the fire that fuels your purpose? Today, you're about to witness a story of resilience, legacy, and the kind of power that only rises through adversity. This is not just motivation. This is transformation, resilient purpose, driven mindset. With all the stuff that's going on, with all of the confusion from the scientific community, from the leadership, from the presidency on down, it has a collateral effect. There are so many people who are confused. Wear the mask. You don't have to wear the mask. Or if you have the coronavirus, you need to wear the mask so you don't give it to somebody else. If you have it, you should stay in the house. They got all kinds of things. If you make love, you should have the mask on. That is not romantic to me. You know, I say, wait a minute. Y'all coming all up in the bedroom. Okay, baby, put your mask on. How I kiss you with my mask on. All kinds of confusion, all this stuff going on. And you could die from talking to somebody with a mask that's held under their nose. You know why my hair is like it is, and I'm looking like Kid from House Party. Because my barber likes to wear his mask like this. I said, man, put your mask on. All right. I told him, so he does this. Man, come on, have I told you, put your mask on. Cover your mouth. I know your breath kicking like Bruce Lee, but cover the nose too. It's about to make me lose my mind up in here. I decided I'm not going through that. I'm not going through that. I'm not coming out the house till 2027. I work on myself. I got some new squirrel friends. I'm bilingual. I speak squirrely, and I listen to motivational messages first thing in the morning. You want to listen to my voice? Go on YouTube. Find Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. Find Les Brown. It's possible. I tell the story about the bow tree. Find Les Brown getting unstuck. I talk about Chicken Man. Listen to things. Listen to me. Listen to things that can build your mental resiliency. You want to have a resilient purpose-driven mindset that will focus your mind on the goals that you want to achieve, on the things that you need to do to reinvent yourself, to rethink your life, to see whether or not you're on the path to becoming the next greatest version of yourself. And in order to get through this time, I mean, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I say, this is still not a dream, this is crazy. People say, I'd like to come by and see you. Is that right? Okay, I'm on the first floor. We can talk through the window. Every day, when I see people with masks on, looking outside my window, seeing the squirrels jumping from one tree to the other, they never lose their footing. That's where I learned squirrely, Tyrone. He's leading everybody, introducing everybody to me. He's the most motivated squirrel in my neighborhood. Les Brown is about to do his StreamYard or another Zoom. I kid you not, I've been in the house too long. I'm suffering from cabin fever, so read 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day. Drill yourself. You say, well, I've listened to it. No, no, no. Listen to it until you're manifesting results. Faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. So, in order to develop that resilient, purpose-driven mindset, you want to listen to the messages over and over. Take notes on things that jump out to you and become the embodiment of it. Develop that kind of mindset in how you carry yourself and how you face this thing called life. Faith not tested can't be trusted. So you got to have faith in yourself. But we're being tested right now. If you've never been tested, listen to me. No test, no testimony. Faith not tested can't be trusted. It's easy to have faith when things are going great, when the kids are acting like they have good sense, when you have a job, you have money, you have your health. no big deal there. But when life knocks on the door, when you go through some stuff, when you get a bad diagnosis, that's when you have to pull on your faith. That's when you have to be resilient. I've got a saying, and all of you know it: when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Now, here's the other thing that's very important. As you look at yourself, you want to master at least three things. Three things. Multiple streams of income. Three things: I speak, I train speakers, and I'm an author. And I got other things I'm expanding, and I'm 75. Why are you still doing it? Because you're never too old to learn, and you're never too young to teach. I believe that the reason people over a certain age start experiencing Alzheimer's and dementia is because they are inactive. My mother used to say, if you don't use it, you lose it. It takes longer to wear out than to rust out. So the goal is to be actively engaged in life, raise the bar on yourself, turn down the amount of time that you spend entertaining yourself, watching the television, as my daughter Dr. Ona Brown would say. Do things that will stimulate your thinking, that will keep you young. Just because you're 75 chronologically doesn't mean that you have to look 75. So I decided, just because I'm 75, you're not going to count me out. I'm still here. I'm going to be engaged in this thing called life because I have not done my best work yet. You have not done your best work yet. Every day is the best day of your life. As Orrin Hudson would say out of Atlanta, the chess master. Why? Because if you don't believe that, try missing a day. Every day is the best day of your life. Look for ways in which you can begin to master something. Learn something today that you did not know yesterday. Expand your horizon, expand your vision of what's possible for you. Continuously be a student. My high school theme was, you never find out how much you know until you find out how little you know. Study. The people who are going to make it today are looking at the various trends. They're going from mindset mastery, learning three things that they can master to create non-performance income, and they're studying, continuously learning things they can get at the end of their fingertips. On the internet, there's no excuse today for not being in the mindset of achieving something beyond that which you have already done. Life is an adventure. Helen Keller said, life is either a daring adventure or it's boring. And this is an exciting time, that you can earn money from the comfort of your home. Think about that, virtually around the world. I just finished talking to some people in Germany. Then I talked to some people in Toronto, Canada. I'm making money around the world, and I'm still home, virtually. Take advantage of this. This is something you want to learn. Mindset mastery and skill set mastery of the internet. List, and he was amazed. He said, how did you know that? She said, because in Europe, when you eat a slice of pie or cake, you eat it from the back toward the tip. In America, when we eat a slice of pie or cake, we eat it from the tip toward the back. How many of you, when you eat a slice of pie or cake, you eat it from the tip toward the back? Raise your hands, please. Good. Now, what else is in your mind? What else are you doing unconsciously that you don't even know? I'm going to say something, and I want you to answer it. I want you to end it for me. Winston tastes good like. How many of you don't even smoke Winston but know it? Raise your hands, please. Now, that commercial's been off the air for 30 years. 30 years? Let me share something with you. The easiest thing I've ever done was to earn $1 million. The most difficult thing I've ever done was to believe it could happen to me. That was the most difficult part. to believe that given my circumstances. If my birth parents came down this aisle right now, I would not know either one. If my daddy came up here or my mother came up here, given the fact that I was born in an abandoned building on a floor, being labeled educable mentally retarded, not having any college training, I used to feel all my life that people who had college degrees were more intelligent than me. I remember going to see the late Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, the author of the book The Power of Positive Thinking, and I used to look at him up on stage, and I said, I could do that. I would love to talk to people. I love to talk to people. And I said, I could do that. But then when I started going back to my car, my mental conditioning activated itself, and it said, Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have a college education. Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have the training. You've never worked for a major corporation. You can't do that. What makes you think you can earn $5, 0, 0, 0, $10, 0, 0, 0, $15, 0, 0, 0, $20, 0, 0, 0 in an hour? You don't earn that now working for 2 or 3 months. What makes you think that you can speak for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, General Electric? These are clients I have now. You've never even worked for them. How many have ever thought about something you wanted to do and you talked yourself out of it? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. That inner conversation is what's going to haunt you. After standing here and saying, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, after saying that again and again, we are more than conquerors, that inner conversation will cause you, when you leave here, to go back leading a life of mediocrity, leading a life of unproductivity, leading a life of poverty. So I'm going to share with you how to break out of that. I want to share with you how to reach your goals. I think the Bible is the greatest motivational book ever been written. Now I want you to repeat after me, please. Good things are supposed to happen to me. Yeah, write that down. I want you to say that to yourself every day. See, we live in a world where we believe that bad things are supposed to happen to us. I remember at a point in my life, Bishop, when things were going good for me and I said, this is too good to be true. Something is bound to happen. Guess what? It did. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto you, and shall accomplish that whereto it has been sent. Watch your words. Watch what you say about yourself, about your affairs. Be conscious of that on a daily basis. Why? Because your words are powerful. In the beginning was the Word. Life and death is in the tongue. Watch what you say. Never say, I'm broke. Say, I'm overcoming a cash flow problem. Claim what you want, not what you don't want. So affirm, good things are supposed to happen to me. And begin to believe that. Begin to expect that. Now, I was talking to my oldest son, Calvin. We were going for a walk, and I said, Calvin, do you want to be successful? He said, yes, sir, Dad. So, okay, we kept on walking. Then I stopped, and I looked him in the eyes. He's my namesake, my junior. I said, Calvin, we're looking at each other eye to eye. Now, do you expect to be successful? Given the fact that you are a single parent of 2 kids, given the fact that you decided not to go to college to further your education, given the fact that you are very talented, but you're behind on your dreams and your bills, do you expect, based upon your performance, based upon what you've produced at this point in time in your life, do you expect to be successful? And Calvin got quiet. Because, see, if you ask most people at the Manpower Conference, do you want to be successful? Do you want to live a life of productivity? Do you want to live a life of contribution? Do you want to be a better father? Do you want to have your own business? Are there dreams you want? Everybody will say yes, but see, want shows up in conversation. Expectation shows up in behavior. See, I can tell what you expect by what you do. That's why the Bible says, judge a tree by the fruit it bears, not the fruit that it wants, not the fruit that it talks about, not the fruit that it claims, but by what you are doing. See what you do when you leave here, when the music stops, when the shouting dies down. Your behavior, how you conduct yourself, writing your goals down, deciding to enroll in school to get a GED, deciding to sit into class with children young enough to be your grandchildren, deciding to find some product, some idea, some service that you can provide so that you can begin to create some value for yourself so you can create wealth. We're very much like Richard Wright. He said, "The impulse to dream has been beaten out of me through the experiences of life." Most people don't have dreams because life has beaten the living hell out of them. He said the impulse, just thinking about dreaming, has been cancelled out because of the experiences that he had gone through, and many of us are like that, and many of us are victims of distractions. There's so many distractions out here, and all types of strategies that keep you distracted, algorithms, all kinds of stuff. One of the things I'm doing is I had to put myself on a fast. No, 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 I'm not going to look at this phone. No, I'm not going to look. Most people look at their telephones, studies show, over 400 times a day. Ask some kids, if you had a choice between your parents or your telephone, you had to get rid of one, which would you want to get rid of? My parents. Oh my God. It's an addiction. I have a friend, Mike Sims. He stopped looking at television for a year, and he became a millionaire. So I said, you know what? I'm going to just focus on reading and meditating and journaling and exercising and praying and being focused. Focus on my dream and working with people that fit in this category. They are positive, they are purposeful, they have a purpose, and they're going in the direction that I'm going. They are productive, they're working on their stuff, they're profitable, they're making some stuff happen sometimes. The blessings that God has granted us, we are to make something happen. We have to create something that shows that this era is the most profitable, most productive and purpose-driven era in our history because of how we've been blessed. Because of what God has bestowed upon us, we got a fresh start. And when you have a fresh start, you want to take advantage of that, doing the right thing, being excited about it. Said SAGGIN. I said I spell it backwards. They got quiet. I said I'm here to eliminate a virus, HIV, hood-infected virus, AIDS, addiction to incarceration, and death syndrome. Don't come for me. I didn't call an Uber. I'm ready to cry right now. Oh my gosh, oh sheesh, that just hit my soul. And it's this we subscribe. Like, whose story are you subscribing to? Come on now and then. When you teach people, okay, you don't have to choose this story. That's right. If I want to learn about Les Brown, I'm not going to go learn about how to knit kitten hats, like it's just not. What do you have to be in line, in alignment with what it is that you want? I have to ask you, do you feel like you are mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, physically, energetically as strong as you are now because of your upbringing? I know that they say there's nothing like having a praying woman in your life. Come on now, and I know that Miss made me proud. I know I always say all that I am and all that I've hoped to be I owe to my mother. She's made me proud, and God took me out of my biological move and placked me in the heart of my adopted mother. I'm adopting my birth parents. I discovered last year. They're like 45 minutes from here. I was conceived in Gainesville, Georgia. But my birth mother came down to Miami to give birth to us and put us up for foster care and then adoption. And what I now saying I use to my speeches by saying this has been Mrs. M. Brown's baby boy. My birth mother's name is Dar the Bill Rucker. She was a motivational speaker, and they have a museum for my grandmother. Her name is Beulah Rucker. So now I said this has been Mrs. M. Brown's baby boy and Dar the Bell Rucker's pride and joy. I've got two mothers, and I'm not ashamed. I've got two mothers, and I love them. Just to say, if you close your eyes, I sound just like John Legend. You sound smooth for sure. Wow, what do you think was the biggest lesson? I have one moment that happened in my life with my mom. She wasn't even teaching, it was just experiencing. My mom being the most resilient that I had ever seen her. My dad ruptured a disc in his back when I was about 10 years old. My mom was trying to make sure that we weren't homeless. She was going to school full time to get her master's in engineering, had a full time job. All of us kids, my dad's injury and her own life, you know, so there's a lot of weight on her shoulders. And I think of a story of one time I accidentally saw her in the middle of the night crying over her homework by herself in the kitchen at like 2:00 in the morning. And in that moment I like slunk back to my bedroom because I couldn't imagine my mom seeing me, see her being weak. But what I didn't know was that was actually one of the strongest points I had ever seen my mom at, because here she is in the middle of the night, literally sobbing over her homework. And then in a few hours she'd have to have all of us up to go to school. And she always would smile. My mom has poise like she comes with joy. I'm sorry if I cry, but she used to sing this song where she tried to wake us up in the morning, and she'd say, get out of that bed and wash your face and hands, get into the kitchen and shake them pots and pans. Or she'd have gospel playing or something going on, and she always had incredible energy, you know, like she's just such a gem. And I've heard a lot of gems about your mom, and Mrs. May Brown, I heard of through your story. But do you have a story like that where it was literally like this is the moment that I understand resilience, not because of what I read in a book or heard in a story, but because I experienced it with this person? Oh, absolutely. It was a deciding point in my life. I was downtown with my mother, and I think I was probably around 4 or 5. And it was very hot, and so thank you, I saw a water fountain, and I ran out to the water fountain and start drinking water. And my mother said, Lizzie, stop that, and she grabbed me by the shirt and neck and threw me on the ground. Oh, and she started hitting me with her fist with a crazy look in her eyes, and I'm saying, Mama, it's me, Mama, it's me. And then a white policeman came over, and he was hitting a nice stick in his hand. He said, okay, you beat that little boy enough, he's learned his lesson. And he walked away, and he looked at me, and he was laughing, and Mom had hit me in the head and my mouth and eye, and he said, I learn you got learn you. And my mother said, listen, I'm so sorry, she said he was coming toward you with that nice stick. His face was red with anger, and had he hit you, he would have had to kill me. I had to do that to distract him. I'm so sorry. And I was still crying. I said, Mama, I said, is okay. He said, you hit me over here. Can you kiss me over there, right? Making well, she said, okay, said over here, right here. And we both start laughing and crying same. But she put herself in a position she had to decide that if this man hits my son, he will have to kill me. And she said to me, she's willing to die for me. Yes, and it taught me the value of courage. The Bible says, be of good courage, and courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the willingness to act in spite of the fear. Does that make sense? Oh, perfectly, yes. Wow, oh, music, behave. Oh, wow, I love it. Wow, oh my gosh, okay. So I have to ask, we're going to shift gears a little bit. I love talking about family and speaking. You've been sometime in politics. Yes. How was that? Why was that? That was fascinating. When I was a state legislator, I used to have voter registration drives and get people out to vote. At one time, we turned out 95% of the vote. in every black person in Columbus, Ohio. Oh wow. So when I was fired for editorializing about police brutality, which was unprecedented during that time, and the 2 white police officers were fired, they fired me for that, and then a friend named Horace Perkins, he came to my house, he said, "Hey, I want you to sign this, and I believe God put angels in your life." He brought these petitions, he went around and got signatures for me to run for the Ohio legislature. So I signed it, and I said, "But Perkins, I don't know anything about politics." He said, "Neither do the people who run it." So true. So I ran and I won, and I passed 14 bills my first term. Oh, that's incredible. Yes, but let me tell you how I went to the radio station on Friday before Tuesday. Yeah, and my opponent had over $440,000. I had like $600, and so Perkins, who was a salesman at the radio station, he said, "Come in here, come in. Control room, this is where you come, and your ideas flow," because I used to make my own commercials. And something came to me and said, "Call your mom," 'cause I just couldn't come on the errand and say, "Hi, Les Brown, I want to encourage you to vote for me." I just couldn't bring myself to do that, so I said, "Mama," 'cause I always talk about my mother when I was on air. I said, "I'm running for the state legislature, and I need you to do something for me." She said, "You've been running your mouth, and you got fired, didn't you?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, but Mama, I need you to say something for me." She said, "Lizzie, I don't want to be in that mess. I don't know what that is." I said, "Mama, I'll give you $500. She said, "Boy, you better send it west than you." And so I said, "I don't need you to talk long, but just say what's in your heart. Just make it 30 seconds. She said, "Okay, I don't forget, send me my money today. I'll come for you." Right, I like her. She said, "Hello, this is Mrs. May Brown. When I raised my boys, I raised them to be good boys. When they got out of hand, I beat their behind. Please vote for my son. He's a good boy at I-1. Usually you get 3,000 votes in a state representative race. I got over 26,000 votes. People were coming to the polls that I wasn't even in their districts, and Les Brown's mama say he was a good boy. I vote for them." Many people would not come out of the poll because they couldn't see my name. They had to call the police over. Yeah, but it was just that if you have a hard-centered message, I tell speakers, don't let what you want to say get in the way of what your audience needs to hear. Oh, find out about them. Yes, what is it there that they're looking for? Because when you speak to an audience, someone one small group, a large group, they're asking 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have? And can I trust you? Okay, because people don't buy from you, they buy into you. And so, pardon me, so I train speakers how to speak from the heart and expand the vision of the audience, to get out of their history, to step into their imagination. The imagination is where everything takes place. He said, "The scripture I will give you all your eyes can see." And so when I was in the legislature, I was a fierce debater, and that's how I got a lot of bills pass. How did you become such a great orator like you are? The way that you connect all of the dots in such a simple, easy, concise way is really mind-blowing, to be honest. Thank you. How did you become? I studied Malcolm X. By any means necessary. Dr. King, yes, Malx was a communicator. Dr. King was an orator. Yes, the best speakers make the fewest words go. The fathers, yes, they go. And so I studied them because they mastered their craft. And Howard Thurman, who was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Billy Graham, I've watched and I studied all of them, and I think I'm a combination of all of them. And we take some material that you believe in, that comes out of your heart, and you own it. You speak from that place of power. Yes, that you help people to discover their power of voice and inspire them to do something different with their eyes. Wow, that's so true. Malcolm X is definitely straight into the great communicator. Yes, and Dr. King. I have a dream that's another tell a story, and you enroll people into that story. Yes, so when you see me speak in the Georgia Dome, though now I'm speaking as Anna to that speech I gave, it's not over till you win before 880. Arrow zero people, wow, but when you see me speak in a short format, now that's the Malcolm in me, yeah. Interview like you talking to me right now, I'm ready for you, yeah. My mama beat the X out of me 'cause I came home after I heard Bulks and my sister she ran and met me. She said, Lizzie, you got to change your last name back to Brown. I said my name is Lizzie X. She said Mom's going to beat the hell out of you. And so next day I went to school. I was Lizzie Brown. I know that's right, yes. Beat that X out. You have a voice. You have a story. And like Les Brown, you have the power to turn pain into purpose and struggle into strength. Don't just live your history. Step boldly into your imagination. Because the world doesn't just need more speakers, it needs more truth tellers, more light bringers, more you. So go ahead, speak from the heart and change the world.